A stated governance policy is what I'm really looking for here. So the goal of a governance policy is to ensure that communications are well coordinated and effectively managed, and that it's responsive to the needs of the company's stakeholders. So who has the authority to approve messaging? Does it have to go all the way up to your CEO? Does it have to be seen by legal? Does it have to be seen by the key departments responsible for that? The goal is that you will have this clearly delineated. And let me give you an example of that. When you look at the objective of this communications governance document and responsibility, what we're trying to do is to be so clear in establishing responsibility. Because if you haven't had this conversation in the past, and you have an incident that occurs today, you will be gridlocked because no one will move forward, because no one knows exactly who's responsible. Does legal have to look at everything? Does your CEO have to look at everything? Does every department have to sign off on it? You need to have all of that spelled out. And you need to have that spelled out in these three examples. So, for example, who has the authority during an emergency in your company to have a message delivered? So generally speaking, in most organizations, if it is true emergency response, life safety, who's responsible for that in your organization? Generally speaking, that is your security department, maybe facilities. And it should be very clear that they have the authority in a case of emergency response, fire alarms, workplace violence, hazardous materials spill, tornado, whatever it is, and they don't ask for permission. They have some pre-approved messaging, and they send that out. So whether that's sent out through the emergency notification system or in a public address system, that should be clearly done without any qualms at all. Then the next thing you want to look at is, what about the tactical situations in which communication would be appropriate? So, for example, we're activating our business continuity plans. We're going to our alternate site, and clear instructions about what people are supposed to do, work from home, whatever. What needs to be approved? Those tactical messages, we all know they are, very likely would be, could be written now and actually approved by whatever entities those need to be. So they simply have to be pulled out at the time of the emergency and then blessed by either the incident commander or whomever is on your governance document and sent out. The more strategic situations are the ones that really generally require more hand-wringing and opining by the part of legal and certainly by the executives. What you want to do is, those are the ones in particular that you want to clearly pull out from these other communications so that people can be timely. And if you can actually do separate them in that fashion, where it's an emergency response, clear responsibility who has to do that, and you give examples of those. Tactical communications, stay home, go to the alternate site, activate your business continuity plan, whatever those tactical messaging is for your employees. And then the third ones, the strategic ones, the ones that are more the ones that the executives want to really dig into and chew on, those should be delineated differently. When you do that and you really talk about communication, approval, and authority for each one of those, it becomes much easier. So when we write a governance document for communication, we very clearly will almost always have emergency response. Who has the authority to approve? Whoever's in charge of that. So it'd be security, facilities, whomever that department is. In tactical situations, as far as who's approving those messaging, most commonly it would be the incident commander, the person in charge of the incident or crisis management team. And then in the strategic situations, that would be very likely where you would have your CEO or your executive team that would actually be the individuals who approve and have the authority for messaging. But tease those apart, and your governance document can help you do that. And by the way, once you've written the governance document, you want to then present it to your executive team, and you want to make sure that they clearly understand it, and you want to get approval for them so that they are not holding up any emergency communications, or for that matter, tactical communications during an incident. The strategic ones that require their thought and pay grade, so to speak, those are the ones that you want to make sure that they are actually utilizing.